Hey, what's up? My name is Ben, and in this video I'm going to show you how to build an AI proposal system you can sell for $1,000 a pop. The end result is your sales reps can send highly customized proposals to clients before they even get off of the call with them. So imagine you're a prospective client, you get a highly customized email that talks about the exact pain points, the exact solution, and lets you sign and pay for the solution. And again, you get this thing in your email right after you get off the call with a sales rep. If you're someone like me who's building AI automations, and this is one of the things you're selling to clients, you can directly demonstrate the value this would have. You know, the client gets to see it in real time. So here's how it works. We first listen using a webhook for a new Google Forms submission. So Google Forms is just something like this where your sales rep will go in, or maybe it's you hopping on sales calls, right? They'll just come in, fill out the client's information. Once they click submit, the flow kicks off. It checks if the outcome of the call is to send a proposal. We have a 2-second sleep here just to ensure there's no errors or rate limits. Then we ask ChatGPT to write this AI customized part of the proposal here, and then we call PandaDoc, which is what gives us the beautiful document here and fills in the blanks of this document with what we filled out in our form. I'm going to go over this build real quickly at a high level. If you want a deeper explanation of the build, leave a comment and let me know. Also, go ahead and subscribe to Nick's Arrive while you're at it. I'll leave his link in the description. He's who's teaching me everything I know about make.com automations. So the first thing we have to do is set up this webhook, which is the trigger of the flow. So it essentially listens for when a form is created. There is an easier way to do it, but you need to pay for Google Workspace. So I'm going to assume that you guys are not doing that. We're going to create the webhook ourselves. So if you go to this URL, docs.google.com/forms, you can create a blank form. Then you type in whatever questions and potential answers you want. Think about what you can feed into AI to make engaging proposal. So for me, I'm using client's first name, last name, their company name, their email, the outcome of the call, what's their current problem. So this is one that we feed into AI, right? Because we're going to flip it and make that into the solution statement. What's our proposed solution? How much do we want to charge them? Platforms and services needed for development. So this is, truly what's needed for this build, and any additional costs from platforms. So make.com and PandaDoc are the two heavy hitters as far as the monthly costs go. So PandaDoc is the most expensive. Make.com is like $10. OpenAI is going to cost you pennies or a few bucks every month. So when we're editing our form, this is how we're going to set up the webhook. We hit the 3 dots, we go to apps script. Then you want to copy this code here and create an app script deployment. So all this means is we're putting code out in the cloud and we're going to run that code when our webhook is triggered. Now, how do you get the webhook URL that goes here? You go to make.com, go to your webhook step, you create a new webhook here. I've already created it. And you copy this URL here and you put it in the script. Then you deploy this app script, you test it out and ensure that it's got the data structure from your Google form. Once you've tested the webhook and you've made sure that it's receiving all the data from your Google form, you hit the middle connector here and add a filter. So you say, hey, if the outcome of the call is send proposal, we have our 2-second delay. Here is the AI step where we generate that custom paragraph. So we're saying we have to connect to our OpenAI API key. To do that, you go to platform.openai.com/API-keys. You create a new secret key. Once you create it, make sure you copy the secret key over into your make.com flow. Here, you're going to say add a new connection, paste your keys in there. We're going to create a chat completion. We're just using a mini version of the model for testing. You can always upgrade it to a smarter model once this is running in production. Here's our actual prompt where we're passing in these red things, which are the data from the first step. So the webhook is picking up the data from the form submission, passing it into this OpenAI ChatGPT call, and our prompt here is write a nonchalant, no nonsense with an air of abundance statement on the ROI you can expect from the below client's problem and our proposed solution. Don't include any disclaimer, only include the statement itself, 3 sentences max. So we passed in what's their problem, what's our proposed solution, we'll charge them this much, and any additional costs. here's the data being passed in from the webhook. And you can see, for example, like client's email, ben@scalingsidekick.com. In our form, we also have our client's email, ben@scalingsidekick.com. So you can see how it's passed through that data. The last part and the most tricky part to set up is the create a document PandaDoc step. You again create the new connection to your PandaDoc account. I think you do need to pay for, it's like a $30 a month plan to integrate this into your make.com scenario. I just realized I spelled scaling wrong in the document name. That's probably not the best. You can see how after our OpenAI step, we now have the data that ChatGPT has returned. The result here is our couple of sentences, our ROI statement that we're going to add to our proposal. The green is the response from OpenAI or ChatGPT. The red is the data from our form submission, so that's what the sales rep is typing in the call. And I just realized I have to move my head here, but I'll show you how we set up PandaDoc. In PandaDoc, we're passing in all of these red and green variables from earlier in the make.com flow. And here's how it looks like in PandaDoc when you're setting up these variables to be filled in by your make.com flow. So you want to go in and create a template in PandaDoc, not a document. You want to create a template, and anything in yellow here is dynamically being filled in by our make.com flow. And actually this pricing table is also being filled in dynamically. So you can see here I've just added my permanent signature, and I'm only asking for the client to fill out their information. So let's take a couple of these variables as an example. So value explanation, this is our AI generated statement. So you can see it's just a yellow sort of placeholder there. In our make.com flow, we can see that we have a field here in the PandaDoc step called value explanation. And then we simply pass in the result of our OpenAI flow. So the result is our pay our fee plus random platform costs and expect to make, $1 billion on this solution. So when we pass this in to PandaDoc, PandaDoc will automatically create the proposal and fill in this yellow value explanation thing with this AI generated content. So you can imagine how, just look at the statement that it's giving, right? Drop $1,000 plus $40 a month and stop wasting 10 hours per week per rep. So in this case, we're saying it's about $20,000 a year. In proposal hell, that's about a 1,300% ROI in year one. You pay back the investment in under a month and pocket the rest as pure productivity. So because of the immense time savings, it's really easy to prove the value of this thing. We're just using AI to kind of make that statement for us, so we don't have to sit down and generate that ourselves. So let's run this thing so you guys can see what it actually looks like. We'll hit run once. The webhook is now listening for data, right? So when you don't click this run once button, if you just have the flow turned on, it's always listening. Here we're saying, okay, listen, especially for testing purposes, we can look at the data that we're pulling in. So webhook is listening. I have a pre-filled Google form here. So we submit that, go back here to make quickly, and we'll see, bam, it's grabbed the data, moved on to the wait step, moves on to the OpenAI step. It's gonna make a chat completion. Let's wait for this thing. There we go. There's the response. And we have the PandaDoc created. All right, now we're just waiting for the email to get here. So we've got an email, scaling sidekick proposal via PandaDoc. You see that I sent you a proposal. Ben Athanasio sent you a scaling sidekick discovery call proposal. Hey, thanks for the call. Check out the details of the proposal and let me know if any questions. Open the document. The client gets a notification they can complete the document and pay. We say got it. So here's the sales proposal for my food company XYZ. Here's the custom AI statement we got. You're burning 10 hours a week at $400 per rep, about $20,000 a year. Yada yada yada, similar idea. So I, as the client, can now hit start. It brings me down to sign with my company name, first name and last name, and signature. Once I'm done signing, you can click up here and pay. And so my PandaDoc is connected with my Stripe account. So PandaDoc also has like features where you can look at all of your pending payments, right? So here we're saying 50% of the total balance up front and 50% after the solution is delivered, and you can manage those payments in PandaDoc. So that's it for today's video, just a quick rundown. If you want a more detailed step-by-step guide on how to build this thing out, let me know in the comments. I'm just trying to gauge the interest of the YouTube audience right now. So go ahead and let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.